What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Let's give some credit to a team that desperately is being disrespected by the mainstream media, and that is Oklahoma City Thunder, man. They're the defending NBA champions. They won 68 games last year. They brought a championship to a small market team that nobody really respects. It's funny, when they had the so-called star power of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and I'm not disrespecting those guys. That guys know I love Russ, but I'm just saying, like, it's like the only time that the media gives teams any props is when there's like their appointed stars. But never mind if the team is actually winning and deserving credit, they won't give them any credit. They'll keep talking about teams that they want to talk about. But after a 68-14 season last year, in which they won an NBA championship and 7-game grueling series with the Pacers, they started off this season 18-1, which included, I think it was a 113-105 victory last night over the Minnesota Timberwolves. I actually kind of thought the Timberwolves were going to end their streak, but it didn't. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 40 points in like 39 minutes of play. He's still in the hunt for the scoring title. He's a little bit behind, quite a bit behind actually, Luka, who's averaging like 30, almost 35 points a night now. So I don't know whether Shai's going to get it, but you know, he could, especially if LeBron James starts shot jacking. But Shai right now, 32.6 points a night, 4.9 rebounds, 6.6 assists, 1.6 steals, almost 1 block a night. He's shooting, and this is a guy that, I mean, he gets, don't get me wrong, he gets to the paint, but he's more of a mid-range shooter, outside shooter. He's shooting 54.8% from the floor. I told y'all his three-point percentage was going to creep back up. Earlier this year, he was shooting around 26% from three-point range. Earlier this month, he was up to 35%. Now he's at 41.4% from three-point range. And he's an 89.7% free throw shooter. And he gets the line a lot. He's very crafty, you know what I'm saying? He leads the NBA in win shares at 5.2 a night. Last year, he led the NBA in win shares. Total win shares, he led the NBA in defensive win shares, which doesn't get talked about enough. So this is a guy that right now is the most valuable player as far as a team needing him to contribute to victories. And he's also, unlike Jokic, a valuable player on the defensive end of the ball. And to me, that's what separates him from Jokic. I was disappointed in a poll I saw, I think it was Dreamers Pro poll, where over half of the respondents said that their MVP is Jokic. Only a quarter had SGA as the MVP. That just tells me right then and there that a lot of these guys, you know, they're casuals in my opinion, and they really don't watch the games, and they just are victims of media manipulation. Man, if you're a Nugget fan, I understand why you would say Jokic, because that's just how you're going to roll. But I'm really trying to figure out what people are looking at. Because look, we can't have it both ways. We can't sit there and say that LeBron James is a stat merchant, but then when Jokic does the same thing, you change your tune. Your messaging is altered. It's Jokic got to do what he got to do to help the team win. Well, then if he's putting up those types of numbers, then he needs to win more than one championship. Or else he's going to fall into another category that you guys love to bring up. Because you're not gonna have both ways on this channel. What you're not gonna do is say that another guy like Will Chamberlain is a stat merchant. Will Chamberlain had 4 league MVPs, but y'all say he underachieved by winning 2 titles. Well, if y'all had y'all way, Jokic would win his 4th league MVP, but he only got 1 title and 1 finals appearance. So what's the excuse? Oh, he don't have another Hall of Famer playing with him. Oh, but when I bring up that when Wilt was playing with the Philadelphia Warriors, he really didn't have any offensive players playing with him on that level. You don't want to hear that shit. You say he should beat Golden State. He should have beat the Boston Celtics, who had multiple Hall of Famers at various positions. What are you talking about? Bill Russell, Tom Heinsohn, John Havlicek, Bob Cousy, Sam Jones, Bill Sharman, K.C. Jones. But then all of a sudden logic go out the window because you just want to win some stupid argument. So what I'm saying is, if Shai wins another championship, which there's a good chance that happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a good chance of that happening. And mind you, he ain't even got Williams on the team right now. And remember, some of us were saying Williams was playing because Shai didn't have the greatest finals performance. At one point, some of us were saying, damn, maybe Williams could win finals MVP. Remember that? So they don't even have him. They don't even have him. They don't even have him, and they're 18-1. So they're 18-1 now, which, yes, I understand that's not as good as the Warriors 24-0 start. But on pace, they're still on pace to win 77 games. And as I said before, the Western Conference is more competitive now than it was 10 years ago when the Warriors was running through the NBA. You didn't have teams like the Timberwolves and the Rockets and the Nuggets, the Lakers. It was like really the Warriors and everybody else was kind of mid for the most part. But just the years we could pencil in the beginning, the Warriors and the Cavaliers are going to the finals. And we was complaining about parity. That was the era of super teams when you had 3 or 4 superstars on one team. Now the talent is spread out more. I would argue, to be honest with you, that the NBA is more, people like talk about like the 90s. I would argue today's NBA is more talented than it was 10 years ago. Oh, Warrior fans want to hear that one. You don't want to hear that, do you? Remember, 10 years ago, how many superstar centers were there 10 years ago? Dwight Howard was kind of out of his prime. Really, only Boogie? Boogie, maybe? How many superstar centers we had 10 years ago? 2015. Boogie. Dwight was kind of getting out of his prime then. Brook Lopez. Now look at the NBA today, center position. Jokic. Wemby. Embiid, when he wants to fucking play. Sabonis. I wouldn't say he's a superstar, but Vucevic. You definitely got more talent at that position there. Bam. You didn't, you know what I'm saying? So I know Warrior fans ain't gonna like this video, but it's the truth. This Thunder team is on par with the Warriors as far as dominance. And I would argue that they're more dominant on the defensive end than the Warriors. And they're so young, man. They're young. They're still a young team, which is baffling to me. Because most young teams don't have this type of poise. And for them to get all this experience and playoff experience on their belt at such a young, and plus their future looks so bright, Shai might be the one, man. He might be the guy who's going to be the Michael Jordan of his generation as far as individual dominance and winning. Now, only thing I don't see in Shai that I see in Kobe and Mike, I don't think he got that killer like them. But hey, I'm not saying he don't want to win. I just don't think he got that cutthroat, evil personality that they had. But man, neither Steph Curry. But anyway, that's all I got to say about him. Tell me what you guys think.